Our last concept in section 1.3 is how to use a scatter plot to form a linear model that then can be used to estimate and predict and to find x and y intercepts or independent and dependent intercepts. So first of all, you need to know that if you're going to make a model, a linear model, the first thing that you're going to need to do is plot a set of related points to form a scattergram. And then you're going to notice that the points lie on a non-vertical line. You're going to draw that non-vertical line to show the model, and then you're going to use the linear model to make predictions as we described earlier, or estimates, or find intercepts, whatever it is that you're asked to do. So I have an example here. I've already started due to time constraints in making that model, lining out everything that I'll need to do over here on the left-hand side on the notepad. So the following table of values shows the value of an SUV after a given number of years of ownership. We want to plot the data and we want to create a linear model for the data. And finally, we're going to estimate the value after 3 years of ownership, and then we're going to predict the number of years before the SUV will have a value of $5,000. Then we want to find out what the v-intercept is, and we're going to interpret its meaning. So I've already plotted the points of 0, 30, 2, 20, 4, 10, and the last one we have to plot is 5.50. So I'm going to go over here to my model, or to my scattergram, and I'm going to find x equals 5.5 on the independent axis, the years axis. And because that's actually not going to be any where traveling up or down on the y-axis, because it's 0 value, I'm just going to simply put my point right there. And then I'm going to label it with its ordered pair. So this one is 5.5, comma 0. And that is our value. I have a really hard time making periods. It always wants to change the color. So anyway, we have 5.50. Now, what we want to do is we want to notice all of these appear to lie on a straight line. And so we're going to go ahead and we're going to draw that straight line. And this may be a little tricky. So I'm going to make sure that one lines up and this one lines up. Let's see, is it lining up for me? Yes, it is. So I'm going to go ahead and draw that. Keep in mind that this may not be perfect, but not too bad. Okay, so there we are. We have our linear model now. And now we can use this linear model to estimate. So our estimate after 3 years. So we're going to go to x equals 3 years. We're going to follow it up to our model, and then we're going to follow it across to the independent, which gives us 15, and these are thousands of dollars. So this is going to be 15, and that's $1,000. And you notice I've already put the dollar sign in there after 3 years. Now our next was to predict the number of years for a value of 5,000. So I'm going to go over here to $5,000, 5 and then $1,000, and I'm going to follow it over here to my model. And then I'm going to follow it down to the independent value of 5. So I predict that it will be 5 years for a value of 5,000. The next thing I want to find is the v-intercept. The v-intercept in this case is my y-intercept. It's the independent or the dependent values. So the v-intercept is where it intersects the v-axis, the value axis, and that's at 30,000. So this is x, which is our independent in this case, being equal to 0, and we have 30 for the dependent. And what this means is that this SUV is going to be worth $30,000 when it was bought. So I'll write that down, $30,000 at the purchase. And that is an interpretation of what that independent or that dependent intercept is, what my y-intercept is, which we're calling a v-intercept. So that is creating a linear model from a scattergram and using it to predict. So it puts all of our concepts together from this section. And then next time we'll be on to our next section, section 1.4.